Hi, I'm Sam Powers, the Director of Student Veteran Life here at the University of Washington at the Seattle campus.
So I'm Jordan Houghton. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Veteran Life at the University of Washington.
Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Boy. I'm the Veteran Support Psychologist with Student Veteran Life at the University of Washington.
Hi, my name is Ying. I'm the Office Manager here at the Office of Student Veteran Life at the University of Washington, Seattle campus.
Hello, I am Jessie Cox. I am a sophomore at the University of Washington and part of the Office of Student Veteran Life.
Hi, my name is Anthony, and I am a recently graduated student veteran here from the University of Washington.
Hello there, my name is Milo Martin, and I am an electrical engineering student at UW. This is my senior year. I'll be graduating this year.
Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm a student and a student worker at the University of Washington and a patron of the Office of Student Veteran Life.
Here at Student Veteran Life, there are 4 pillars under which we operate. The first is called the Whole Veteran Initiative. We assume that student veterans are getting intellectually challenged in the classroom at the University of Washington, so we seek to fill in the gaps behind that. We have an indoor recreation program where we meet online to play D&D, we have movie nights, all sorts of things. We have an outdoor recreation program where we have a healthy outlet for student veterans to connect with one another and to blow off steam. We have a veteran support psychologist as well who meets with our student veterans one-on-one. She's the only one in the nation who is employed by the college in which she operates. And she is here specifically for student veterans on our campus. Another pillar under which we operate is called advocacy. And so we do a lot of workshops and educational facilitation around campus for departments and individuals who seek to learn more about student veterans, their unique experiences on a college campus, and how they can better serve them. We also have advocacy in terms of acknowledging that student veterans are more than just students and more than just veterans. We recognize they're also parents, they're also sisters, brothers, they have other identities with which they identify. And so we seek to try to bring together groups that can celebrate these differences and these unique traits and have facilitation and other workshops where people can ask questions about it if they're curious and want to become an ally. Another pillar under which we operate is called engaging community. Under this pillar, we have familiar events that student veterans can connect with from their time in the military, such as honoring student veterans on Veterans Day, honoring those we've lost along the way on Memorial Day, and all sorts of other recognizable ceremonies. The last pillar under which we operate is also an important one. It's called Beyond the U. We quickly realized when we opened Student Veteran Life that people were not necessarily planning for the future in terms of having jobs. So they were coming back to the people that they trusted, the people on campus that they knew could help them find those jobs. So instead of waiting for them to do that post-graduation, we decided to work it into our programming. So now we actually have a tiered process that we go through with student veterans in order to make sure that they have a job by the time they graduate.
The Office of Student Veteran Life has really done an excellent job at adapting to remote learning and everything being on an online platform. Like I said prior, having virtual tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons has created an opportunity for people to connect from a socially distanced kind of scenario and still have that community aspect that is so important in a university. We have also done other streaming opportunities for the student veterans community, like streaming games. And personally, I have started streaming my art. I've done digital art and just kind of created a space for students to come and talk about art and just relax and watch me draw. So hopefully that has been valuable for the veteran community. But yeah, just lots of new online resources that we've been able to establish and create to continue supporting our student veteran community has been really valuable.
Some of the programs I think at SVL I think are the best would undoubtedly be Dr. Laura's mental health care program. That has been a wonderful resource for student veterans and students in general to help folks deal with the hard times. Everyone has had that rough quarter that really just gets in your guts, and having her there to talk to you and having her there to talk you through the hard times makes everything so much easier.
So I'd say that the primary services that I've really been able to take advantage of and had made the biggest impact on my education and my personal well-being on the city campus there is not even really a service. It was just the availability of people of a like mind. It was the availability of the staff to be able to communicate with me about any issues that I may be coming up with, be it with the Veteran Education Benefits Office or what have you. They saw everything that each of us had been going through, and they had the experience and were able to guide us through some of that in a way that was a lot less stressful than it could have been navigating that alone. The other office perks are nice, being able to print whenever you need to. You can rush in before a class and kind of print out whatever assignments you need to or what have you. When we were physical and in person, that was another nice perk. Obviously, biggest highlight for me, coffee. I needed that to survive my days, so having that hot, fresh coffee ready for veterans and anybody else that wandered in was huge.
Even though some student veterans may or may not qualify for education benefits, but we still offer services for them. And one of the things that helps out is that having pieces of technology that are loaned to them, either if it's a laptop and an iPad, some other kind of tablet, and depending on demand, we might adjust accordingly and be able to acquire certain products, so that way students are able to have the proper resources, so that way they can succeed academically.
I would not have been nearly as successful as I have been. I've made Dean's List several times. I am doing a pretty hard science degree, and without the support that I received from the staff and the other students that utilize the services, I would not have felt nearly as comfortable. I wouldn't have had people to help guide me through some difficult situations, and I would have felt really disconnected. And those things, it's been shown, make it so students are worse off if they're not connected. So I know I would not have been nearly as successful as I have been.
Great. So I'm really hoping that this position does spread to other universities. I think it's a really unique thing that the University of Washington has decided to do, and SVL has pioneered that. It's an incredible opportunity, I think, for student veterans because there is a lot of stigma about going to the VA, not to mention that it's a big organization. It can be really hard to navigate, and the idea of working with somebody, some nameless person somewhere that you're not really all that comfortable, that can be a hard thing to approach. And so what we try to do in SVL is do what we can to minimize the stigma around mental health, and part of the way we do that is that I like to be present and visible in the community, so that it's easy or easier, hopefully, to approach the idea of seeking mental health, and also just normalizing talking with the therapist, that I can be a human being and I'm a face that's familiar to them. It's also really nice to just know that there's somebody that can get it. A lot of universities don't have counselors on staff that understand the experience of student veterans. Not being a veteran myself, I don't necessarily understand that, having walked those shoes, but my connection with the community and watching my husband go through school after deployment, I understand there's some really unique challenges to this population, and I think it really makes a difference to have somebody that's trained clinically that can talk with folks in this community who really get it, and I want to see that spread to universities. I think that's what our veterans deserve, and it'd be really nice to have that happen.
Yeah. So The COVID-19 pandemic obviously hit everybody pretty hard, and in the university system, it took out one of our larger functions, which was having a physical space for students to come to where they can decompress, they can study, they can talk with other people who have similar experiences, get direct guidance, all of those things. So in the initial days of the pandemic, we began virtualizing everything that we could. We were having social nights for folks. We were getting out newsletters more frequently, starting to funnel out some of those systems that could be checked out to folks that, it's more than a day now, more than a week, more than a month. We've had students who have had computers for a year at this point from us, but we tried to meet the need and go into the virtual environment as quickly as possible. So we started facilitating all of those things through Zoom. We were able to switch our sort of, you can call it indoor recreations, to be virtual. So we utilize some things like there's a game called Jackbox Party Box or something like that. And essentially it's just a bunch of goofy games. And we had students coming in and playing with us for a few hours. And we were doing that once a week. And we had the Huskies kind of playing with Vets Play for Dungeons and Dragons. And that's been something that's been continually going all the way since the start of the pandemic. We actually haven't had a break in that one at all. So we continue to engage students in that way. Our newsletters have been more informative. We've found more content that is applicable into the virtual environment, and also been continually advocating through our counterparts at ASU Dubs, or our undergraduate leadership, and our GPSS, our graduate folks, to make sure that the GI Bill, at least within the university's eye, is still being utilized in the same manner that it would be as it comes into physical attendance. So this has ensured continuity of benefits over the long run. So full tuition payment, books and the stipend, your housing stipend, which was the big part. And so far, no students have run into these massive issues of not being paid or anything like that. And in addition, we were able to kind of keep our student employees on. Originally, we had about 10 folks, and we were able to give them a variety of tasks at the start of the pandemic. And we've slowly sliced it down because we've been able to kind of have some more efficiency builds into our virtual environment, but also we've had students naturally graduating. And without folks being able to come into our space physically, we've tried to find ways of showing what's happening. So we've had some videos of some alterations. We've improved the entirety of the office since we just moved into it right before the pandemic started, with new furniture, new spacing, a new refrigerator, a new audio-visual system. We have some nice motorized blinds that stop the office from being a fishbowl, so people aren't being stared at while other folks are walking up the stairs. So when the space does become available again, and we're looking at that happening sometime at the end of spring quarter, with kind of, make some reservations and do that system, students are going to be welcomed into an extraordinarily different environment that's going to be a lot more conducive to not just studying and having that community again, but also the safety portion of COVID-19, because we'll have that physical distancing embedded within there. Even for our students who were in the office prior to the pandemic, it's completely different. Everything has largely been renovated. It looks like a brand new space. It's not really recognizable from when we originally moved in. So we're really excited to be able to show people that and, kind of get the feedback that we usually go off of for, hey, what improvements can we do to this space to make it better for you all? So that's kind of the gist there.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to all of you kind donors who have helped us grow our little community of veterans in this new and exciting world we have here at UW. It means so much to us that you've chosen to help us with our hard transition in from being veterans into being students. It's just so wonderful to have this little community we've been able to foster.
So I really believe in honoring our veteran service and sacrifices, and I think we do that in part by taking care of them, not just with services, but with community. Your contributions allow us to continue our mission of taking care of the whole veteran while they're with us here on campus and beyond. We're so grateful to have your partnership and support, and we sincerely thank you.
Words cannot express the contributions that donors have given to the Office of Student and Veteran Life. I just wanted to say thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Having been a student and utilize these resources, and because all these things were made possible of donors like you, I really greatly appreciate it, and thank you very much.
So to wrap this up, I just wanted to offer a huge thank you to anybody who had part in ensuring that the Student Veteran Life office at UW continues to serve its veterans. It's hugely impactful on the community. I feel it, I know many other veterans feel it. Even in this hard time, they have been able to convey the message that they are there for us. And for your part in that, thank you.
So at the Office of Student Veteran Life, it's no small task to get things running day in, day out, week by week. And the donations that have been given through a variety of folks have been extraordinarily impactful. In particular, we've been able to utilize these to embolden our students to strive forward more successfully. We've created more programs, and we've also been able to sustain our staff members who, without them, the office frankly would not function. Within our office, we have 4 dedicated professional staff who are all full-time, and within that, we're able to address disability claims. We're able to address utility needs. We're able to look at how do we get systems in and out for students? What do they need from us? How do we connect them into tutoring? How do we establish them into better housing markets and ensuring that they're getting a good rental, or if they're looking to buy a house, who can we connect them with? All of these things come from the mass amount of resources that each of our staff members bring to the table. And with that, our programs then become better. We find ways to make it more efficient, more cost effective, and ensure that our students get the most out of it. We've done things like having students go over with Peace Trees Vietnam to kind of look at what are the differences that we've seen between our service eras, and how can we reconnect that into the now? What does post-traumatic stress do to us, and how can it be impacted into our family? We have a counselor who successfully is able to run groups, individual, couples therapy. And in addition to that, we then can pull in other people to help us with these needs. Our programs are successful because we don't have a worry of, what are we going to do next, or where can we go from here? We have a backing of these amazing folks like you who are helping us push forward and continue to have that safety net for our students, and making sure that they know we're not going to be leaving anytime soon, and that we are here, whatever the need may be. So thank you so much for your contributions to our programs and to our staff. And we hope that we can make you proud of what we're able to accomplish within our system.
From me and the rest of the members of the Office Student Veteran Life and all of the student veterans that the office support, we would just like to give you our utmost appreciation and gratitude for your generous donations. As you know, this money is going to go towards supporting our permanent staff and making sure we're able to retain them for at least the next couple of years. And this is extremely important, especially for them during this unpredictable time, knowing that we'll be able to support them financially for at least the next couple of years, but also making sure we have continued continuity within our staff at the office, so that we will be able to continue providing resources and activities, events for our student community, and making sure we're able to create a space for everyone to connect and feel supported.
The services offered at the Office of Student Veteran Life have been essential to my success at the university, and have made a huge difference not only in my academic life but in my personal life. It's been difficult for me to make a lot of connections outside of the military since getting out, and the community and sense of camaraderie that I've found at this Office of Student Veteran Life has been a godsend. Our staff, especially Sam, Ying, and Jordan, are some of the most phenomenal people I've ever met, and having them as resources is undescribable. One of the biggest benefits we've had is Dr. Laura. She is the only on-staff psychiatrist, individual in the United States associated directly with a student veteran organization on campus. And that's been indispensable to me and several other students. Knowing that these individuals will be able to continue doing their work for the next few years to come because of you is just, one, reassuring, and two, just very heartwarming. I can't express how much I appreciate personally your generosity and your willingness to help us out, and how much it's going to mean to other students both now and in the future. It's unspeakable, and you're just phenomenal. So thank you so much for everything you've done for myself, for the other students here now, and for future Husky veterans. Thank you.
I would just like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your very generous donation is going to make it possible for us to continue providing services to student veterans at the University of Washington Seattle campus. It is incredibly important, and the impact that you've had, it resonates throughout the entire department and throughout all of student life and the entire campus.